I'm very drawn to stories of confinement and telling very large stories through a small window. That constriction, that balance, a juxtaposition of the size of the story and the way we're telling it really appealed to me and evoked my imagination in a very powerful way. And I think movie making, especially going to the movie theaters, needs to be a very experiential thing at this point. Why do you leave your house and go to the movie theaters? Well, you want to have the deepest, most profound experience. And this type of storytelling where you count on the incompleteness of it. That's a whole thesis of storytelling that I ascribe to, that you don't fill in everything and let the audience member do the dance with you. This isn't a dance performed for them entirely, but you require them to get up and be part of the dance. And that incompleteness that is inherent in these kind of stories where you're very confined and you're imagining everything. I mean, Twilight Zone, lived off of that. Conjuring of your imagination is required to finish the painting. That group, the three of them, were very much a family, Jonathan, Kristen, and Ben. It was magic to see. They just wanted to be around each other, and they did hang out with each other. They go ice skating and doing this, and they were a family. Kristen's mom came over to me and said, she sometimes looked over at them and was like, wait, are they the family? She's like, I don't even feel like like that feels like the real family, because they were so, like, the connection was so real. So very, very lucky that they found each other and that we all found each other. I put every word or not word, the word that I chose not to put in there is done for a particular reason. And you may want to conform the dialogue to make it comfortable, to make it easier to say, but that hitch, that overstatement, that redundancy, or that awkwardness, or the flip of the verbiage of that's how I saw the character dealing with it. So before we go to let's change everything, okay? I want you to try as much as you can to get the original intention. Because if I give you that opportunity to let's change things, let's just constantly change things, yes, I understand how that's expedient and we can get to a truthful thing with an actor quickly. I get that, and especially with TV and things, and when you're rushing and you're doing, but we're not doing that. We are going to do this one shot and we're gonna spend hours on it. So I wanna talk to you about trying to get that hitch in there that seems hard for you, that little weird like pause, and where does the anger come from? Why does that thing, let's talk about that rather than saying, I can't do it, or I don't understand it, end of conversation, or wouldn't it be easier to do that? And I always say, wow, you've really made it smoother. Did we improve it? Did you, now it's easier to hear and easier to say and all that stuff. So we have those conversations. It's because I've spent, 5, 6, 7, 8 months alone thinking about that, and our instincts under complete duress and pressure sometimes can make us do things that are easier but not necessarily better for the situation. And we rehearse, and in rehearsals we talk through all of that. I completely forget that it's about a gay couple, honestly, and I just see it as a love story. And strangely, and I told the guys this, that so strangely attached to their expression of love and the way they told their love between them in this tale, that I just saw myself in this story as a straight guy. That's what love feels like to me too, and it may be in some way because it's marginalized or precarious and vulnerable, and the world isn't quite a place that's nurturing of that. I respond to that as well in some personal way, saying, I know it's extremely hard for all of us to be who we are. We're told how to conduct ourselves, what is smart, what is fashion, what is this. We're told everything, and yet each of us are this wonderful color, and it feels sometimes the things that are pokey about us, that are different, we squash that down, and then we don't feel really great about ourselves. So seeing two people being incredibly courageous and and just telling a story that would normally just been told with a typical husband-wife story, and just having it told with these two people, super moving. I was saying, I was as a viewer watching as we shot this and made this, I was feeling things that I've never felt before for protagonists. I was seeing dynamics that were fresh and new. So seeing love through another angle was really a beautiful thing for me, and I didn't expect that. The things that restrain us as human beings, our fears, are things that we have to go at. We can't, most of us don't, right? Most of us avoid the things we're scared about and try to make our lives conform to experiences that don't trigger us, don't trigger our fear capacity. And so maybe we don't grow, maybe we don't experience things because we're scared. We don't travel, we don't date that person because we're not sure it's gonna work out, or we don't take that job, or whatever it is. And we confine ourselves. And I think just the basic premise of taking fear as the primary emotion that is afflicting the main characters, and having them, because circumstances won't allow them otherwise, to punch through that fear to get to the other side, I think it's structurally, emotionally a beautiful thing for audiences to feel like, wow, if I go at my fears and I experience the worst possible thing, my worst thing I can imagine, I can come out on the other side and I'm still standing, or I learned something important. That resonates with audiences. So I do find this genre very hopeful and a great vehicle for saying powerful things that can stick to us. To sense someone so incredibly open and receive it like that, it shatters all of the things that you have in you. And that's true for him when you're just speaking to him, as a human being, so giving. He doesn't protect himself at all, not even a little bit. Just an extraordinary human being to be around, and an extraordinary actor to direct. I can't say enough about him. I'm still trying to understand how Jonathan exists in the world. I told all 7 of the actors in Knock at the Cabin that every one of you has every right to feel bad for yourselves given what's happening in the story. You're not allowed. You are not allowed. So find another way. You can get angry, you can use humor, you can use artifice to try to trick your way out of things. Find a weapon to fight, to stay alive, because we love watching characters fight for their survival emotionally. After like 3 days on the set, after 3 days of shooting, he came over to me and he goes, I've said more dialogue today in these 3 days than I have in my entire career in front of the camera. And I never worried about it because he was the right human being. And I know he was, a little bit nervous, but came with such commitment. He's so tough on himself, so I don't need to be tough on him.